welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Julius Caesar, and today we get to hear from Calpurnia, Calpurnia, you border on the Adriatic. Actually, no, she doesn't. Calpurnia is Julius Caesar's wife, and we get to hear from her in Act 2, Scene 2. So things that are going on, there's a whole bunch of guys that want to kill Caesar, and they're going to do that at like 8 o'clock in the morning on March 15th, is what they've decided. And Decius Brutus is going to make sure that Caesar gets to the court type place so that they can actually carry out their plan to kill him. Caesar doesn't trust Cassius. Cassius thinks that Caesar's gotten too big for his britches. The whole thing is they're afraid that Caesar has gotten too ambitious, and that if he gets all of these titles that the common people are wanting to give him, then his head's going to grow too big and he's not going to be a good leader anymore. So they want to stop that before it actually becomes a thing. So yesterday, and for the last couple days when we've been in Act 2, Scene 1, we were in with the conspirators plotting their whole thing. They're only going to kill Caesar. They're going to do it at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Decius Brutus is going to make sure that Caesar gets there. And then we had Portia, being Brutus's wife, come down and be like, tell me what's going on, because you're freaking me out. And he doesn't get to tell her, but they have a nice little moment before Caius Ligarius comes in and interrupts them. And he's like, you know, whatever it is, Brutus, as long as you're leading it, I'm in. And that's how Act 2, Scene 1 ends. So Act 2, Scene 2 starts at Caesar's house. And now it's a little bit later. It's, I don't know, probably closer to 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And Caesar's like, wow, my wife like woke up 3 times in the night screaming, help, they've killed Caesar, which is a little disconcerting. But then he goes about like his morning routine, and Calpurnia comes in and she's like, wait a second, wait, excuse me, you're planning on leaving the house today? And he's like, yes, I'm gonna leave the house today. And she says, Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within, besides the things that we have heard and seen, recounts most horrid sights seen by the watch. A lioness hath whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce fiery warriors fight upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons and right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the Capitol. The noise of battle hurtled in the air, horses do neigh, and dying men did groan, and ghosts did shriek and squeal about the streets. O Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them. So she's freaked out. There's been a lot of weird stuff happening. If you remember a couple scenes ago, there was a great big storm happening the night before that was freaking out Casca. Meanwhile, Cicero's like, isn't this a lovely storm? So Casca saw all these things as like harbingers of doom. And Calpurnia is hearing about all these sorts of things, and she also believes them to be harbingers of doom. And she, I think we get into that a little bit later. Yeah, no, she doesn't tell him that right exactly now, so I'll mention that later. So she's pleading with him, saying all of this weird stuff is happening, and I'm freaked out. So please don't leave today. And Caesar's like, no, like everything's fine. This is like all this stuff like this happens all the time. And she's like, no. When normal men are about to die, nothing happens. When great men are about to die, there's all these signs that things are supposed to happen. And then Caesar speaks his famous line, cowards die many times before their deaths, but the valiant taste of death but once, the kind of thing, being like I'm going to be brave and strong. And then he turns to his servant and he's like, so what are the augurers saying? The augurers being the guys who are like paid to predict the future. And the servant's like, well, they slaughtered a deer this morning and couldn't find a heart in it, so maybe you shouldn't leave the house. And Caesar's like, oh, piffle, that's nothing, whatever. And Calpurnia finally eventually gets down on her knees and she's like, please, I am begging you with everything that I have in me, please, 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 don't go today. Say you're sick. Don't go today. And finally Caesar's like, okay, I won't go. And then Decius Brutus shows up, and we get to hear more about that tomorrow. I'll see you then. Mwah.